Hi, good morning. How are you? I hope everybody is healthy and safe. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dian Rahmani Putri. I am from the Institut Teknologi dan Bisnis STIKOM Bali. I would like also to thank the committee of KOLITA 19 2021 for giving me the opportunity of presenting my paper. Shall I start presenting? My paper entitled Ethnolinguistic Study of Agricultural Sign Language, Kata Kolok, Bengkala, Bali, Buleleng. This is the background of studies. My research is located in Bengkala village in Kubu Tambahan district, Bengkala, Buleleng. And why Bengkala village? Because it has a uniqueness that is related to language. Of course, the people of Bengkala is having some deaf inhabitants in purpose of communicating with the Kolok people, that is the deaf-mute people. They agreed a sign language, Kata Kolok. That sign language is very helpful to bridge the communication between the hearing and the deaf. This is the map of Bengkala. As we can see, Bengkala village is located in the northern Bali. And these are some photos of important places in Bengkala village. At this moment, there are 42 deaf people in the village, and they are living spreadly among Bengkala villages. And most of the Bengkala Kolok people support themselves by working as farmers or as labor in the farm, and they also have like side works as manual labor in building construction or the under construction road, or perhaps to fix waterways. And here are some pictures of their daily activities, including joining the Janger dancers community. Here, the Janger Kolok is very famous. Sometimes they are invited to perform in the festival like Bali Cultural Weeks, and also some others important occasions. And the research question, there are two. The first is how Kolok people express their agricultural activities using their sign language Kata Kolok. And the second research question is how wide Bengkala Sign Language Kata Kolok can describe Bengkala culture. The research objectives, there are two. The first is to find out more about Kata Kolok Sign Language, which has meaning related to the agriculture and plantationary arms. And the second objectives is to discover how wide sign language Kata Kolok describes Bengkala culture. The research methods, there are some theoretical bases used. Among them by Duranty, who terms ethnolinguistic as anthropological linguistics, and also the theory from Safir and Worf about ethnolinguistic, and the other theory from Goodenough, which is written in Himes, and also theory from Greenberg's in Himes. And I wrap up all those theories by making observation on the sign language Kata Kolok that composed conventionally among Bengkala villagers. Those are Kolok and Ingat, the deaf and the hearing, which is also consists of values and tradition. By signing Kata Kolok, Bengkala villagers can express their cultural activities that describes their identity as part of the whole Balinese Hindu culture. So basically, the data of the research is taken from a corpus data, which is actually from a video recordings, and the video recordings are converted into images by using software, and then it is combined with the transcription, and also reconfirmed by the informants. The informants I got from the Bengkala villagers, that is the leader of the deaf community in Bengkala, Pak Ketut Kanta, and also some important people like the head of the village and some priests and some other Bengkala people. And the data analysis method used is descriptive qualitative with structural and ethnolinguistic analysis of Kata Kolok, which focus on agricultural sign. So it is not only from the sign language, but also from the cultural point of view. And the findings are categorized into 5, namely agricultural equipment science, and the second plant science, the third livestock science, the fourth religious ceremonial science in agriculture, and the fifth other farming related science. And in this case, I limited the example per each category. agricultural equipment, I choose the rice mill machine sign, yeah. And for that sign, as we can see here, two hands imitate the motion of putting rice paddies into the rice mill machine. So it's like following the motion of putting the rice paddies into the rice mill machine. And for the plant signs, I choose a sign of rambutan. In Latin, Nephelium lapacium. So as we can see in those two pictures, the first pictures from the left, right hand's finger imitate the shape of fruit clusters, and the second sign, right hand touches the hairs. As we know, in the word hairs in Indonesian bahasa is rambut. So the hairy fruit, rambutan. And the third, for livestock signs, I choose Bali cattle, Bali cow, yeah. The Latin name Bos Javanicus domesticus. As we can see here, the sign for Bali cattle is two hands imitate the shape of cow horns. And the fourth sign is religious agricultural ceremony sign. I chose Galungan Balini ceremony. As we can see here, it consists of two signs. The first is two hands imitate the motion of praying, and the next, right hand pointing to the middle of the neck. That is actually the sign for pig. Perhaps you are wondering why Galungan Balini ceremony is related to the sign of pig, because normally in Galungan Day, the Bali people make some special cuisines that is using pork as the main ingredients. For example, the lawar and satay, and some other cuisines like babi guling, yeah, the suckling pig, and etc. And the fifth sign, that is other farming related signs, I choose two signs. The first is for the hulled rice or cooked rice, yeah? As we can see in sign A, yeah, two palms are twisted like the movement of washing the rice under the flowing water. And the sign B is for grain rice or unhulled rice. As we see, the sign right hand make a shape like holding a small bowl. So, ladies and gentlemen, we continue to the discussions. And the first is focus on the impact of spoken language on the sign language. Yeah. So based on the data discovered in this research, it is recognized that basically Kata Kolok sign language is rarely influenced by the spoken language. Why? As we see that Kata Kolok is more like explaining the signer's mind by using sign language. Perhaps it is close to the gestures. But in some case, there are also some signs that has no relationship between the sign and the meaning of the sign, but it is like showing actions. And for the next focus is sign language showing the culture. That is the agricultural sign language. Yeah. So by having knowledge on the agricultural living, and actually it is enriched the Kata Kolok itself. For example, the land of Bengkala is suitable for field that grows perennial crops. Yeah. For example, mango, rambutan, mangosteen, cashew, and some others perennial crops. And also some roots like ginger, saffron, cassava, taro, and also the other activity of farming is raising cattle, pig, and chicken. So all of those meanings, I prefer to choose the word meanings rather than vocabulary because it is related to what is on the thought of the deaf people. So it is enriched the Kata Kolok. So by those meanings, they created the sign language to bridge them communicate with the hearing people in Bengkala. And also for the Bali ceremony, of course, it is related to the agricultural living in Bengkala, like Tumpak Wariga, Tumpak Uye, and Galungan. That is the day of the plants, the day of the animals, and the special days of the Earth anniversary, Galungan. Yeah. So those ceremonies also enrich the Kata Kolok. Every meanings that have related to those ceremonies they make them agreed several signs, and so that the sign Kata Kolok becomes more and more rich in any kinds of meanings. And this is how the Bengkala culture that enriched the sign Kata Kolok. Basically, deaf people learned and understood the culture from their hearing relatives. They have all their understanding in their mind, but what are in their mind actually cannot be identified as particular language from the hearings. So the concept in their mind then is composed to be several signs telling about cultural ideas. In this case, the agricultural ideas. So generally, they don't know the language, what is Tumpak Wariga or Tumpak Puye or even Galungan. On what are mango, rambutan, cattle, pig, and orange, like the language of the hearings. So the Bengkala culture enriched Kata Kolok since the beginning of the deafness happened in the village. So they are urged to communicate one another. So that is why among the hearings and the deaf make a convention about the sign language they use, that is Kata Kolok. And later on, when some of the Kolok people can afford the education for the fables, the schooling Koloks then learn about the hearing language, and they can communicate by handwriting or nowadays by online texting through SMS, MMS, and several social medias including WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and etc. And to wrap up the paper, based on the research discussion, I would like to conclude that language is the output of human ideas. And the form of language is not merely spoken and written, but also in the forms of signs. The activity of using language timely enhances the language vocabulary. By sign language Kata Kolok, Kolok people is able to express their agricultural activities. By interpreting the Bengkala Sign Language Kata Kolok, Bengkala culture is reinvented, whereas several agricultural signs can figures the living of peasants community in Bengkala, in which the Kolok people have been involved for a long time. So that's all my presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Should you have any question, please do not hesitate to give me questions, perhaps directly sending emails or by contact my mobile phone or WhatsApp. And I would like especially to thank the people of Bengkala village, and also to my institute, the Institut Teknologi dan Bisnis STIKOM Bali. And also I would like to thank the committee once again, the KOLITA 2021 committee, Universitas Atmajaya Jakarta, and also to the Masyarakat Linguistik Indonesia. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed. And have a nice day.